Okay, I'm just going to kind of be randomly scrolling through this original post. I don't even know if you can really read it. I just don't want the camera pointed at me right now at 8:30 in the morning. But I do feel like I need to address some things. Apparently, I need to specify and clarify some things because no matter how articulate you are via written word, it's always open for misinterpretation. Now, first off, I am not saying secondary infertile mothers are not suffering. I'm not saying that you shouldn't support them, and I'm not like saying anything negative about a secondary infertile mother. What I'm saying is that there is a huge difference between being a secondary infertile mother and a definitively infertile, childless woman. It's like comparing apples and oranges. And it frustrates me that I can't speak about my infertility without having to discuss secondary infertility and how tragic it is for a mother to not be able to have as many children as she wanted. Now, I'm not talking about the miscarriage facts. I'm not talking about fertility treatments. I'm talking about, in general, you may or may not have went through fertility treatments, but your goal was to have a child, and you have at least one living child that you get to hold and love. Okay? And I'm not saying don't support these women. I'm not saying don't create memes and don't support each other. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying have a little extra respect, maybe a little extra props for the ladies who will never be mothers. Tread a little lightly when an infertile, childless woman vents. Maybe don't join in with your story of how you're trying for your third or fourth child and it's really hard for you and what you're going through, because it diminishes what we have went through. Okay? I have not earned the title of mother because I don't have a child. I've not earned that title. But I have earned the title of infertile woman. It's a shitty title to own. I would rather I didn't hold that title, but it does describe my experience. And I don't feel that I should have to qualify infertile with a bunch of adjectives to get people to grasp what I mean. I don't want to tell somebody I'm infertile and then them to ask how many children I have. I have no children. I'm infertile. I'm not secondarily infertile. I'm not going through that. It's a completely different thing. And that is what I'm talking about. Now, onto the subject of Google and support and memes and that type of stuff. I'm not saying that the sources aren't available. I'm not saying there are no sources to support definitively childless infertile women. The source material is available. I'm talking about your first instinctive Google search when you are hit with that information, when you leave the doctor's office and you come home and you're looking for support, whether it be religious, spiritual, philosophical, or just other experiences from women going through the same thing. And so you Google infertility. What you're going to find is a lot of stories. You're going to be hit with a lot of stuff about women who are trying for their third or fourth child and now they're experiencing fertility problems and the stress that that's putting on them. And right there you're going to be like, oh, well, that kind of weird. I really wanted to hear about infertile women. So what do I have to put to find out about women who can't have kids? So you discover the term childless and infertile. So you Google some form of childlessness, infertility, and you'll get what I showed you in the pics. You'll get a few sad pictures, some covers of some books. You'll get some statistics. It's my favorite right here. Some statistics about birth rates in other states. And if I were to scroll further, I wish I would have made my screenshot bigger. My very favorite thing that comes up in row 4 of infertility with childlessness is a list of ways, ironically, to stay sane on Facebook. Has nothing to do with children or fertility at all. It's just general rules of what you should and shouldn't post on Facebook. So I don't know what that's telling me. But then you search, very simple search for secondary infertility, and you get like all this support, all these things, you know, telling you not to diminish their feelings. And, you know, just in general, like, just look at the colors. It's uplifting. You don't even have to read this to know that this is more uplifting than this. You know, it's pretty obvious. And there are things like infertility humor. Not a lot of it, but there are a few things. Somebody wanted to make sure they pointed that out to me in one of these. Yes, right here. But I really don't think that when a woman is first hit with infertility, when she first hears that news from the doctor and she comes home and she's looking for relatable stories, the first thing she Googles is infertility humor. No. I mean, we all get there. I can look at some of this stuff and laugh. It's been nearly 10 years that I've been going through this. But again, I'm not speaking only for me. I'm speaking as a definitively childless, infertile woman in general, and how society in general seems to be much more supportive of women who experience infertility after they have become mothers. Now, I don't know why. I don't know why it's such a hard pill to swallow. The only conclusion that I can come to, and, you know, I'm just speculating here, is that most people have children. You know, most women have children, so they can relate to this. They can think, oh, someday I'm not going to have children anymore. You know, I'm going to not be able to bear children. Or, man, what if I don't have the amount of children I dreamed of? You know, I've only got 2 girls, and I've always dreamed of 2 girls and a boy. And now I'm may or may not experience secondary infertility. You know, I can support these women. I can relate to it. It's something that I want to pray for and I understand. But they cannot wrap their mind around never ever having a child ever. They can't wrap their mind around that idea. It's too horrible of an idea to even grasp. And I don't know if they think trying to imagine it is going to wish their children away. And again, even imagining it isn't the same thing as actually going through it. And that's all I want people to understand, is that it's different experiences.